Managing a data center can be full of unexpected hiccups, problems that pop up out of nowhere without any warning. Kind of like this game. Honestly, there might not be anything more frustrating than repeatedly missing those little moles. Maybe a little more help? Nope. Even with more people and multiple mallets, it's basically impossible to hit every single mole. But if you knew where every mole was going to pop up before it did, would that make it easier?
Yeah, it would.
It would indeed. And if you could apply that same predictive ability to your data center infrastructure, wouldn't that be fantastic? Times have changed for data centers, but the tools used to manage infrastructure haven't. Managing modern data centers is becoming a game that even experts can't win, and throwing more people at the problem doesn't solve it. That's why I'm here to talk with James today. James, thanks for joining me in this amusement park.
Good to be here.
Now, can IT win this global game of whack-a-mole?
What we're asking IT admins to do today simply isn't sustainable. Things are just too large, too complex, and moving way too fast for admins to keep up with. So what we really need to do is harness the power of cloud and machine learning in order to tame the infrastructure.
Now, what do you mean exactly?
Imagine if we could analyze 50,000 whack-a-mole games. We'd start to see patterns evolve. Now we could take those patterns and we could start to find out where or predict where the next mole is going to pop up. The same is true in data centers. This is why we're building Project Starship, which we've now named Cisco Intersight, to be a central command bridge to connect UCS and HyperFlex to the cloud and start to develop insight and predictability for where these moles might pop up in the data center.
So Starship allows you to basically predict issues before they even become issues, like being able to predict who's going to win this race or who's going to crash.
You know, no system is perfect, but with UCS Starship, we'll be able to predict where they're going to pop up before they do. It'll become much harder for those moles to sneak up on us.
Right. So what do they look like in an infrastructure?
These things are pretty well known to us, right? So there are things like upgrades and patching and capacity planning, even missing an SLA or a service outage. Let's take an example. Let's say I was looking at the storage capacity on a particular system, and I see that it's at 60%. That seems all well and good. But how do I know how quickly it's going to reach 80% or cross the 80% threshold where performance starts to degrade? Well, UCS Starship will monitor the capacity trends and be able to predict when that system is going to run out of storage before it does and before it becomes a disruption.
Right. By the way, can I just say that I'm really enjoying this race?
Looks like a lot of fun.
But I do have another question, James. What other benefits are there for IT from Starship being cloud-based?
Well, so we're shifting customers from building and maintaining their own management infrastructure to getting their management as a service from a Cisco managed cloud infrastructure. Imagine if you didn't have to build and maintain your own management infrastructure. No more software version control issues. With continuous delivery, we're able to add new features very rapidly, and the customer isn't required to update any of the local software. This allows the customer to just simply log in and the new feature's there.
Wow. So Starship can predict problems before they happen. Wouldn't it be awesome if it could also solve them?
It would. So not very far in the future, we can take this actionable intelligence and start tying it to automation. So this is where you can see that the machines will truly start managing the machines. Once we know about issues before they happen, we can combine the individual policy with a recommendation engine that will provide a remediation path for the user. Things are moving just too fast for humans to be in the decision path if we want to run things efficiently. So as this process evolves, you can see where automating this will create essentially a self-governing infrastructure.
So how do people get started?
Well, if you're a UCS or HyperFlex customer, you can start connecting your systems now to the cloud for free.
Today?
Today.
Wow. It's really good to be able to predict what's coming. For example, I bet you wish you could have predicted that the two of us are going to be racing.
We're racing today?
Oh, you betcha. Yeah.